A different perspective, a new insight into life, a nugget of positivity and a hidden truth, and maybe an amusement for you. Welcome to From My Standpoint, a twice-a-month podcast with your host, Josh C. Jones.
Hey, I appreciate you tuning in again to From My Standpoint. I'm your host, Josh C. Jones. If this is your first time listening, then I thank you for tuning in. And if it's not, well, I thank you for coming back. I really do. And do not forget that if you prefer to read, I suggest you check out the show notes at FromTheirStandpoint.com. That's from THEIR standpoint.com, where I will sometimes add links and extra information that may not be in the podcast. Welcome back for part 2 of the 3-parter, 4 Things That You Cannot Get Back. Now, for those of you who did not hear part 1, I highly encourage you to go back and listen to it. It is good. And I'm not being, well, I am being biased there, but it is good. It's episode 33, 4 Things That You Cannot Get Back, part 1, The Stone. Now, as I mentioned in 4 Things You Cannot Get Back, part 1, The Stone, what I'm going to talk about is, I think, a wonderful proverb that truly does stand the test of time, and it holds true from generation to generation.
It is universal and almost too obvious.
Well, yeah, thank you, Random Voice of Reason, for butting in with that, but I have to admit, you are correct, again. And it is also stuff that most of us know, most of us tend to repeat as wisdoms to others, and then most of us tend to easily forget. Now, I do not wish to repeat myself if it can be helped.
But you just did repeat yourself from part 1, didn't you?
Wow. Like, wow. Ouch. Random Voice of Questions. You're always there for me with that, aren't you? Anyway, he is right. But watching events unfold in our lives, I do want to repeat something that I think is not only important for each of us to learn, but vitally important for each of us to accept. And this is something that I think is a must repeat. Patience, discipline, wisdom, and control over our emotions are so important, and yet they are so difficult to obtain and hold on to. And I believe it is true that all of us like to feel enlightened, that all of us like to appear special, that all of us so desperately desire to be valued, and that all of us have a need to be heard. Sadly, though, in those needs and desires, we oftentimes relinquish self-control, and in turn we lose patience, discipline, and wisdom, and we justify our emotional responses in the name of righteousness and passion. We react in the moment and showcase perception as fact and feelings and emotion as truth. After which, we are left dumbfounded at the negativity our emotional response might have stirred. We question other people's allegiance and values when they do not react with the same emotional passion as we do, and we confound a situation with feelings and emotions rather than the truth. And then we shame others who do not act in the same justified self-ascribed righteousness as us. In our moment of so-called passion, in our perceived righteousness, in a single moment in time, we strike and inflict others with words which we may later wish to retract, but alas, we cannot get them back, and we end up missing that which will never return.
Moments are made by us, and those moments are shaped by our choices.
Yeah, that is so true, Random Voice of Reason. I completely agree with that. Now, the second thing that no one can get back after it has left them is the word after it is said. The word after it is said. Now, you are writing those words you choose to speak on the listener's heart, mind, and soul, and like permanent ink, they can never be erased. Words are powerful, And as I say in my book, Destiny, Life or Death, Choose Your Destiny. I like that. Words, such a powerful and inspirational communication tool that when wielded correctly can help inspire a positive view and help create a positive world. When we allow words to roll on our tongue and successfully ride the wave, then they hold dominance. But if we keep these words in check and wipe out the negative ones, then we hold dominance. End quote. Now, go pick up that book and read it so you can read the exact wording, not what I messed up reading right there. When we speak, much like everything we ever post on the internet, our words are no longer under our control. They become their own, either inspiring people through their positivity, or if we are not careful, they will instead discourage people through their negativity. So, what words are you speaking and to whom? What are you telling yourself? We need to practice speaking positive and being people of encouragement, and don't forget to say the truth.
Wait, why did you say practice?
I say practice, Random Voice of Questions, because if left to us, human nature will kick in and negativity, it will be the norm. That it will.
It takes more personal effort, and discipline and self-control to act and speak in a helpful and positive way. It is much easier to criticize and be negative than it is to help and be positive.
I don't know if I could have said it any better myself, Random Voice of Common Sense. I mean, that was really good. All I have to say to that is, yep.
And meekness play a huge role in self-control.
Yep, that it does. I agree with you. You are correct again, Random Voice of Reason. Good job. Now, in a general sense, the old saying fits here. Before you criticize someone, you should walk a mile in their shoes.
Wait a minute. If you did that, then wouldn't you be a mile away? And you would have their shoes too, right?
Well, yeah, in a literal sense, Random Voice of Questions, but I was speaking figuratively. So, no,
Oh, okay. Is criticizing the same as judging?
Now that one I can answer pretty well. Both are stating observations. Now, there are good and bad criticisms just as there are good and bad judgments.
So, we should never criticize or judge then, right?
No, Random Voice of Questions. I didn't say that, and that is not what I'm saying here. Now, to never criticize or to never judge would be both unhelpful and unbiblical. As I said, there is good and there is bad, there are right and wrong in each, but that is for another time and a potential another episode, Random Voice of Questions. So, but let me get on with this. For some reason, negative events from others or ourselves, such as perceived failures, perceived wrongs, they have a much more substantial impact on us and our memories, our brains, than positive events. So unlike the cliche, the old cliche, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Negative words, they can and sometimes do hurt people. In fact, negative and hurtful words have led some down the path of destruction. They have led some down the path of ending life.
Offending people is hurting, just like those negative words that could be destructive to some people, right?
That's actually a really good question, Random Voice of Questions, and one in which often does confuse people. But no, not always. Offending is a word, and being offended is a term that has sadly been used and abused and twisted and warped and weaponized for selfish and wicked desires. Now, that is a tricky topic with some people sometimes. I do believe, Random Voice of Questions, that you had the right idea in episode 1, my first post, or is it? So go back and listen to what you said there. I'm moving on. Interestingly enough, it is believed that bad things, that is negativity, even if they are untrue, are much easier for us to believe and accept. And this is thought to be most likely due to our ancestral past of nomads facing danger from all around, to keep us on guard and our senses on alert for danger, kind of like a survival trait. Anyway, once you say that word, once you type that word, it is out there and it is impacting life. Be watchful on social media of the words people are posting and the words of which you are posting. Be vigilant to the words you allow to escape your mouth towards yourself and others. Because after our negativity is spoken, it is out there. It is working. It is discouraging others and altering someone's path in an adverse way. I mean, is that what you want? Is that what we want? Or after our positivity is spoken, it too is out there. It is working. It is encouraging. It is inspiring others and advancing someone to the correct path, to the truth. Is that what you want? Is that what we want? Now, I'll tell you, for one, I want to be a positive person and help encourage and inspire other people. I want to help them find and stay on the correct path. I want them to have hope. I want them to be inspired to do research, do their own independent research, and learn more than just what they are told to know. I want them to find the truth. I want them to succeed in finding success. And I pray that you find the truth and that you find your success too. Do not forget to check out the other great shows at www.fromtheirstandpoint.com. And if you even slightly liked what you've heard in this podcast, in these shows, please, please, please rate, review, and share. That's how people find us. And if you have not yet subscribed, then I encourage you to subscribe to From My Standpoint to ensure you receive a reminder when new episodes are released. You can follow me on Facebook at FM Standpoint, on Instagram at From My Standpoint, or visit the website www.fromtheirstandpoint.com. That's from THEIR standpoint.com, and click on my show, From My Standpoint. Thank you.
And now, what you've all been waiting for, it's the wisdom of Dad Joke.
Our words are more powerful than we give them credit for. As it states in the book Destiny, Life or Death, Choose Your Destiny. Oh, I get no cha-ching there. Oh well, I'll do it myself. Cha-ching! Just as good words can inspire and build, so can negative and foolish words discourage and destroy. I don't know. There it is. Yeah, it's out there now. Okay, I don't know about you, but I, for one, strive to be and want to be a person who speaks words of good and positivity and the truth. I do not want to be like a horse. I mean, did you know that it's been said that horses are the most negative creatures on earth? Yeah, when they open their mouths, I mean, they are nothing but naysayers.
This has been From My Standpoint, a podcast to find a nugget of positivity and a hidden truth, encouraging and enlightening insight, entertaining a new perspective, and providing an amusement for you. We hope you were entertained, encouraged, enlightened, and enjoyed the show.